Welcome back to This Week at ISU. I'm your host, Jake Patton. This week we have the Honors Spring Formal, Way Carnival, and more. This Week at ISU starts right now. This past Friday, the Honors Council hosted the Honors Spring Formal. They provided refreshments like cookies and water for those who attended. There's also a photo booth with props available for fun photos. Let's hear what Honors Council members Hallie, Rue, and Sophia Greenwood had to say. The Sustainability Club hosted a bracelet making event on Wednesday. Sycamores could stop by and make bracelets while learning about sustainability. The theme was Leap into Action and encouraged students to be ready for Earth Day. The event was initially planned to be held in the quad, but was moved to DD1 due to weather conditions. Chi Omega hosted a fun carnival. The event was to help raise funds to donate to Make-A-Wish. There is a variety of fun games for students to enjoy, such as ring toss and cup stacking. Let's hear more about this event from Maddie Scott, Chi Omega's Director of Philanthropy.
So this event is to raise money for Make-A-Wish and to promote student engagement. That's why we have everyone tabling right now. This event is important not only because it promotes student engagement, but we're also granting wishes for kids who want hope, want a good experience and stuff. My personal favorite part of the event is probably just the clubs that all came together and came to table for us, and also Dr. Park and Brendan Corcoran. They both came in and they were all for the staff reckoning wheel and stuff, and so I'm just kind of happy that they came. So we actually do have 2 events next week. We are doing Payakai, and all of those proceeds do go to Make-A-Wish.
On Tuesday, Union Board hosted a feminine care package service event. Students could stop by room 521 in the Holman Memorial Student Union to make these care packages. These hygiene products were given to Council of Domestic Abuse CODA, provides service for women who are victims of intimate partner violence. Art Club hosted its semesterly movie night inside the Fine Arts Building. Students voted on movies for the club to watch via social media. The movies range from romance to comedy. This semester's movies were the Lego Batman movie and The Cat in the Hat. Event organizers say this is a fun way for students to wind down and relax during a stressful semester.
At this event, we do have a few snacks, but they're mostly just a few chips like popcorn, and then we have some gummies that are free for everyone. We encourage people to bring like pillows, blankets, pajamas, snacks, and we'll just relax and we'll watch movies. And then the first movie we watched was Lego Batman, and we're about to watch Cat in the Hat, which I love. I love it so much because it's so chaotic.
Students had a chance to attend an informative leadership Thursday afternoon. The event was held in the Student Activities and Organization Office. SAO invited students to take a moment to reset, refocus, and build momentum to finish the semester strong. They explored practical ways to stay motivated, lead with an intention, and navigate the final stretch with clarity. Free food and drinks were provided for attendees to enjoy. Sycamores, we have a new feature for you. We're going to highlight a cool animal you see every day on campus. Let's find out more.
My name is Molly Babel. I'm currently studying biology. I will eventually transfer and then finish with zoology somewhere else. With the zoology major, and as you will learn, I love squirrels. I also love all other animals. It's really my passion. I really love the idea behind, rehabilitating animals and taking care of rescue animals. So hopefully I'll go down that path of working at a rescue center, or there's always a chance of working at a zoo. There are people who really, that's a very niche community, so it is hard to get into those fields, but we'll see where it takes me. This one right here, and then there's one behind the camera. I get them both mixed up sometimes, but I think this one's Cashew, and that would be because he shoos away the other squirrels. They're both kind of fighting a bit right now. Some of the other squirrels, my favorite one, which we will hopefully see today, is Macadamia. He also goes by Mac and Damien. And then there's one over there who's very tiny, and I named her Pistachio, obviously because that's a small nut. And then there's one up front, at the front of campus by the fountain, named Peanut because everyone knows her. She's, the squirrel that everyone walks by around campus, so peanuts are very common nuts, so she's Peanut. So like I said with him, he is a bit territorial and shoos away the other squirrels, but then when he's with me, he's very calm. There's one we might see, he actually has sort of a skin condition where he loses patches of his hair. I call him Walnut because he kind of looks like an old scrunchy man, and he is so sweet, he's so docile. There's a few people on campus who I think give her like dry corn kernels, which are not squirrels' favorite. They like softer foods, which is why, Cashew and the other one are fighting. I give them black sunflower seeds, which are actually their favorite. So I actually didn't realize prior to, enrolling in ISU and attending how many squirrels were on campus. Once I saw other people feeding them, and like I said, not the best foods, it kind of encouraged me to go out and feed them myself. I mean, animals are a lot like people. They all have their very own unique, distinct personalities. I can tell when they're having good and bad days, so it's just kind of taught me, we're all unique, we're all individuals, we're not that different than squirrels, and we should all just treat each other with respect. Some of the kids who walk up to me are like, oh my gosh, can I feed them? They just like rush and stick their hand out and get upset, when they don't eat right out of their hands. There are days on campus where I spend 3, 4, 5 hours sitting with these squirrels, the same way you wouldn't expect to trust a stranger. These guys wouldn't either. So just patience. It makes me sad to think that one day I will leave this campus and not see them every single day like I do now. But I know that whenever I'm back in Terre Haute, I will definitely come see them.
Softball and baseball had some great plays this week. Let's bat over to Jackson Ennis to hear all about it.
Sycamore softball and baseball were both in action on Tuesday night for midweek home games. At Price Field, Sycamore softball hosted Eastern Illinois, and the 6th inning was the difference. Indiana State pushed across all 3 of its runs in that frame, pulling away for a 3-0 shutout from the Panthers. The Sycamores now turn their attention to conference play, opening a 3-game series against Southern Illinois with a Sunday doubleheader at 1 p.m. Over at Bob Warren Field, Indiana State baseball welcomed Purdue. Bottom of the 4th, bases loaded. Caleb Niehaus ropes a double down the third base line, clearing the bags and stretching the Sycamore lead to 4. A few batters later, Caden Miller unloads on a pitch to left center for a 3-run homer. Indiana State rolls to a 12-4 win, their 5th victory of the season over a Big Ten opponent. The Sycamores are back in action this weekend, opening their series with UIC on Thursday at 6:30. This is from the Forest. I am Jackson Ennis.
Last week there was lots of rain. Hopefully this week things will clear up. Now over to weather. Trans Visibility Day was celebrated earlier this week on March 31st. In honor of this day, we will be discussing gender dysphoria for Health Minute. Make sure to tune in next week to hear about sexual assault prevention. Hey Sycamores, welcome back to Health Minute. I'm Jake Patton. March 31st is Trans Day of Visibility. Let's take a moment to learn more about gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is a clinically significant distress that arises from a mismatch between one's gender identity and their assigned sex at birth. It is recognized as a medical condition in the DSM-5 and is often causes intense anxiety, depression, and even suicidal ideation if left untreated. Symptoms for gender dysphoria include a strong desire for physical characteristics of another gender, a strong dislike for one's own sexual anatomy, and a desire to be treated like another gender. Some examples of what may trigger gender dysphoria in a person include calling them by the wrong name or pronouns in gendered areas like restrooms or changing rooms. Gender dysphoria is not a mental illness, but it can result in mental health issues if not treated. The only cure for it is transitioning to the gender they want to be. This looks different for everyone. Some transgender people will only transition socially or tell the people around them that they are trans. This includes telling people what to call them, cutting their hair or letting it grow out, and wearing clothing that aligns with their gender. It is important to note that a person may only be socially transitioning for personal or monetary reasons, and to respect who they are regardless. Other trans people may have surgery and or use hormone replacement therapy to look more like the sex that aligns with their gender. Thanks for joining us, and check back next week for more healthy tips and tricks. Back to the studio. Thanks for joining us this week. If you'd like to get involved with Sycamore Video, or if you have any events you would like us to cover, send us an email at isu-sycamorevideo@indstate.edu. Check us out on our Instagram at sycamorevideo-isu student media or Sycamore Video on YouTube. See you next week, Sycamores.